Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Shooting the with Yankee. As always, I'm Yankee, so let's start shooting. Today's topic is a very timely one. Do you think civil war is imminent? Is it coming soon? And is the Charlie Kirk political assassination going to play a major role? Did that hasten it along? Or is it the catalyst? Or is it really going to have no effect whatsoever and people are going to be fickle and forget about it in 3 months? Let me know what you think via the YouTube super chat. And I will start us off, as I always do, by saying I'm kind of undecided. I don't think there's going to be any kind of bloody civil war because there's not enough people in this country that actually will get off their ass enough to do anything, even if it's justified. But here's the thing. Most guys nowadays aren't even talking about a justified civil war. They're not talking about rebelling against institutions. They're not talking about rebelling against governments. They're talking about killing their fellow American. They want to go after these people with these political ideologies or these, beliefs or this sexuality or that, whatever. Because they're fucking moron pawns of the 1% that have bought and paid for this country. They own the politicians, they own the judges, and they own the media that keeps you divided, even the YouTube we're using here right now. And those people are the dumbest among us, and they have fallen for it hook, line, and sinker. They're the ones calling for civil war, and it isn't civil war. It isn't war against the institutions that are holding us down. It's war against their fellow Americans who they've been told are the enemy, just because they disagree on things. And those type of people will never succeed at anything. In fact, most of them will never even do anything more than maybe take a pot shot at someone with a rifle from a distance because they're cowards. So, no, I don't see any real out-and-out civil war happening. And no, I don't see Charlie Kirk being a catalyst for it, because all the people that are so mad about Charlie Kirk are the type of fair weather bullshit people that as soon as something else makes them angry, they'll center on that. They just go around looking for thing after thing after thing to give them a reason for their bad attitude, to give them an excuse for what a worthless piece of shit they are. Most of the people bitching about Charlie Kirk's assassination didn't believe what he stood for at all. I mean, he's a good Christian man. He didn't believe in violence. He didn't believe in retribution. He didn't believe in all this stuff. If he's a good Christian, he doesn't believe in, casting out the poor and beating people down. I mean, that's not what Christianity's about. If he was a good Christian, he knew this country is definitely not a Christian nation nowadays. It's like they've decided that everything Jesus said, let's do the opposite, but then let's pretend we love Jesus. So I don't want to hear the Christian nation stuff. So I don't think those people are going to do anything about Charlie Kirk, because I don't think they're Christian at all. And I don't think they care enough to stay on it for a long time. So I think it'll fade. But I do think our country, the way we're going right now, we're doomed if people don't wake up and start being a little smarter. And I don't see us doing anything to make people smarter. In fact, we've been dumbing people down now for generations, since the 1960s, when the people in power went, wow, a lot of people rebelled against us. And why is it? And they found out, well, it's because a lot of people were getting too educated. In the 40s and the 50s, we really prioritized education because we thought the Russians were going to be smarter than us, get to space before us, and all this other stuff. So we prioritized education, making people smart. And then it backfired against the people in power. So ever since then, they've been demonizing education and raising tuitions and all this other stuff to dumb us down. And it's worked. So, yes, I do think we're headed towards a breakup of our country eventually. But I think it's going to be a bloodless coup. I don't think it's going to be this civil war. I think it's going to be just some states go, yeah, this is a sinking ship. We're jumping off. This is a sinking ship. We're jumping off. And you're going to end up with a few, like 5 or 6 different countries now, like Europe. And some of them are going to do pretty well, and some of them are going to be pretty shitty. So that's where I think we're going. But as far as open rebellion, civil war, no. Because for there to be civil war, it's got to be the people against the government. Right now, it's the government turning the people against the people. That ain't ever going to work. So that's how I feel about it. As you can tell, I'm on a little bit of a rant here today. But let's go on over here to the people weighing in and see what they got to say. Paul Rollerson, who just joined as a patron, says, we already seem to be in an uncivil partisan war. Yeah, it's kind of a civil Cold War, I guess we could say. So that's pretty astute. Is that the word? Suddenly it doesn't sound right when I say it. Sean Bain, no people will be too busy etching. No, comma. He didn't put the comma. No, people will be too busy etching sports and drinkable alcohol to care. Watching sports and drinking alcohol to care. Yeah, gladiator games keep people busy. They won't care as long as they got just enough money to have cable TV and drive a truck or a car, whatever you like better. I prefer cars. I mean, I like trucks, but I prefer cars. Trucks are for work and cars are for fun. Although, unless you're going off road, then trucks are for fun. That's a different topic. Johnny Mandrick, no one has the stomach for civil war, just all the yelling and screaming at each other. Plus, politicians wouldn't risk losing power. But yeah, they don't want a civil war. They just want to maintain everything right on the edge of it. They want everybody on the edge. They want everybody on the edge of poverty, on the edge of violence, on the edge of everything. Because that way they're too distracted to pay attention to what's going on. Then they get to maintain power and do their little deals behind the scenes, all that stuff. Asir Hammer says, no civil war. The elites will divide and distract, which they're doing a very good job of it. And we can't stop it because most people take it hook, line, and sinker. You've got a lot of people out there in this country that think that the reason my factory moved overseas is because of immigration or because China stole my jobs, not because those greedy people that own my company decided we can make this product for a lot less in Cambodia than we can make it here. So we can increase our profits 10% by screwing the Americans. And we'll just convince them it was somebody else, not us. They never look the right direction. It's like if your jobs went to China, that's not China's fault. That's your manufacturer. That's your company's fault. If your jobs are taken by illegal immigrants, that's not the illegal immigrants' fault. That's your company's fault for hiring illegal immigrants. But no, you've been conditioned that it can't be them. It's got to be these other people that are the problem. Where was I? Edgar Cortez, no real civil war, no. However, there may be demonstrations and civil disobedience if the government becomes too oppressive. Well, the government's already very oppressive. They use every excuse to break up free expression and free speech and everything else. You get told you're not patriotic if you do this, or you're not patriotic if you do that, or someone kneels for the national anthem, you ought to beat their ass. No, fuck, that's part of being an American. They have the right to do it, and as an American, I should understand it's their right to do it, and whether I like it or not, I shouldn't beat their ass for it. That's what Americans are able to do, and you should be like, motherfucker, I hate what you're doing, but I'm glad you can do it. And I will defend your right to do it. Not, I'm going to come in there and make him stop. That's not American. It's going to be a real ranty shooting the shit today. Plus, I'm dealing with car issues and all this other stuff and trying to get that Camaro sold. So I'm not in a good mood. In case no one noticed, I am not in a good mood. Civil war, no, but the moderate left will no longer exist. Exist soon. Why? Why will the moderate left not? Is there a moderate right? Are you saying there's going to be no moderates left at all? Because moderate left and moderate right have very little difference between them. It's almost a misnomer. So I'm just saying, are you saying the moderates are going to disappear and it's just going to be extremists? Because that's a potential. Ramon D 1776 did a super sticker, but I don't know what it was because I can't see it. I'm trying to get rid of the chats I've already read here, so hold on. Give me a second. All right. Ghost Shadow said, no civil war, not enough in shape to fight. Look at the LARPers huffing and puffing, just getting from parking lot to the field. Yeah, I know. I mean, there are a lot of people that are in fighting age and shape. Why do you think we take 18-year-olds into the military? Because 25-year-olds are not going to make it, most of them. But yeah, I think it's I think there is a physical aspect to it. It's like the survivalists. They're like, I'm going to survive. I'm going to be part of the Civil War. I'm going to be on that front line. And oh, someone help me out of this recliner. Those people. But I think more it's a state of mind that will be the problem. I think most people they couldn't even conceive of not doing as they're told. Then we got state hats. Just some unrest. These people don't even know why they're mad. I think civil war will start when Trump refuses to leave office. Well, if he refused to leave office, that would be a constitutional crisis. I don't know if that'll happen. I would hope that even his supporters would wake up if that happened, but they won't. These same people that are constitutionalists will be like, well, we have a reason why we're doing this. Well, there's no reason to disobey the Constitution just because you don't like the way things are going. That means you've already thrown out the Constitution if you agree with him staying for a third term. So you don't get to say anything ever again about being a constitutionalist. It's like right now, I believe that half of gun owners, if Trump tomorrow said, I've got a plan, we're going to beat the anti-gunners, but it's going to require you all to turn in your guns. You'll get them back, but you're going to have to turn them in. And half the gun owners would turn their fucking guns in. They'd be praising Trump as they walked over there to turn their guns in their U.S. flag shirts and their Trump hats and everything else. Colin Hipburn, who I need to send his gun to him this week. I just haven't got to the gun shop yet. They don't open again until Tuesday. It's pretty close. I think a lot of people who have kept quiet in the past are now making their opinions known. No one whispering, a real pushback. There's a lot. I mean, look at the fallout I saw on my channel from people just because I don't agree with Charlie Kirk. People get madder at me for that than for the fact that I say I'm not a Christian. But because I'm not, I don't follow the Christian faith. I'm not a religious person. And they get mad for that, but they get even more mad if you don't say, I support Charlie Kirk 100%, then you're the enemy. I'm like, I support him 100% on guns. I support his position on Islam and some other things. Although I think it's funny when you support one religion supremely and then another, you're just like, it's the worst thing ever, because it's kind of hypocritical. But Mr. Furley said, hope not. It's far L versus far R. Middle prevail, I hope. Yeah, well, there's way more people in the middle, but they don't get involved. No civil war. This is Mikey D. No civil war. People not giving up their way of life, but they fucked up with the Charlie deal. It's just going to make it bigger. His wife will continue it. I don't think she will. I don't think she has the personality. Someone else will come up and take his place doing what he's doing because there's big money in it. Remember, he wasn't a civil rights leader. He was a businessman making a fortune. His net worth was millions. So he's not doing this out of the kindness of his heart or his love of the Second Amendment or the Constitution. He was doing it as a business, and someone else will rise up. That's one of the things I said first day. If you've got a problem with the prices at McDonald's, you don't shoot the fucking cashier at McDonald's because they didn't have anything to do with it. And also, they're just going to put a new cashier there tomorrow. Business will go on as usual. So no, you're not going to stop what's going on by taking out someone like Charlie Kirk. He's not making the rules. He's not even a politician. And someone else will take his place. So even if you're someone that staunchly disagreed with him, how can you even make yourself think you're doing some good? You're not. You just showed what a bad person you are. You're now the bad guy. Because here's the thing, when people say, oh, but when people push them to the brink and then they snap, who's really at fault? The person that snaps, the person that does the unconscionable, heinous act, no matter how much someone pushes them. If someone doesn't come up to you in your face and threaten you physically and you resort to violence, well, then you're the one who's responsible for the violence. And be bigger than that. Where was I? That was Mikey D, I think. John and Mandrick is saying if they try implementing his beliefs, there will be civil unrest. People aren't going to just give up their civil rights without a fight. Well, that's true. I think, well, some people will. Some people will gladly. Some people, there are a lot of people in our country right now. If you just say, well, this, I'm against immigration, I'm against civil rights, I'm against these things, there's a lot of people in this country will follow you. Just like if there's a lot of people on the left that if you just use the wrong pronoun, even if you're the biggest fighter for their rights, they'll fucking turn on you in a second. They don't care what you did or what you've done for them in the past. If you so much as use the wrong fucking pronoun now, you're, well, fuck you, we don't want you, you're garbage. So it's just, both extremes are just killing themselves. Edgar Cortez said, I've sent you 2 questions for the Merc against I saw. We'll get to those after this tonight. DM Faust said no civil war. Just because he says so, I guess. He might be psychic, though, because I kind of agree that he's right, but he might be psychic. Jacob C. Said, if so, will it be similar to that mini-series of North and South with Patrick Swayze? Is Mr. Actor of Awesome Patrick Swayze still? No, Patrick Swayze's been dead for a long time, I'm pretty sure. The only Patrick Swayze movie I ever really liked was Red Dawn. What else was he in? I liked him on Saturday Night Live. But as far as his movies, I liked Red Dawn. He was in Ghost. I wasn't a big Ghost fan. He was in Dirty Dancing. I've never even seen Dirty Dancing. What's that one where he was a bouncer? Roadhouse, which I just found that I couldn't watch that because that's just ridiculous. Like this 97-pound dancer is beating people's ass. I'm just like, But back to the topic here. Karashnikov says, I feel like our version of civil war in this country will be balkanization. I don't think it will be for a while. I kind of agree. It won't be any bloody war. It's just that, certain groups in certain states will just say, yeah, this is done. The union has failed. We're our own country now. Jumpy Killer Rock says, don't think so? Question mark. Well, don't think so? Especially when the guy's politics are up in the air, Groyper or radical leftists. If that is the latter, most likely nothing. If the leftist story is true, insane far-righter might act out. But that's true on both sides. Insane leftists might act out. Insane righties might act out. But, there's just nothing you can do about that. That's just part of life. But I don't really think it matters what someone's motivation is when they murder someone. I just think it's mostly, well, then you're disgusting because you murdered someone for no reason, for no good reason. Williamson County Sheriff said a second civil war will never happen. I kind of agree. Johnny Mandrick says, remember Boogaloo? Yeah, that kind of faded out, didn't it? All them Boogaloo boys, where did they go? They weren't making enough profit, so they found something else to do. Like even the ones like the Proud Boys that would show up in downtown. Like when I went down and talked to them, well, as a YouTuber, I talked to them from the YouTube standpoint. The guy I was talking to was like, oh yeah, we make so fucking much money off these videos when they post their videos and their fights. That's why they start the fights, so they can make money off the videos. Google, your opening monologue was spot on. Most people will believe whatever to put the blame on someone as long as it's not the person in the mirror. Exactly. I agree 100%. Well, of course I agree because I said it. But that's it for today as far as shooting the shit. How about you all out there in YouTube land? What do you all think on this extremely ranty topic today? Let me know in the comment section below. I hope to hear from you. And I hope to see you in one of our chats soon. If you want to weigh in on purpose. If you want to weigh in person, come to one of our live chats. We do them every day at 6 p.m. We don't miss days, so show up. We'll be here. As for everybody else who showed up and participated, thank you very much. I appreciate it, especially now more than ever. I appreciate participating. So thank you. I hope to see y'all again tomorrow. Stick around for the Merc Guns and Freedom podcast here in a second. But like I said, I'll see y'all again tomorrow. Otherwise, until then, remember, always carry and stay safe until I see you again.